friends, a lot of people ask me about Comet ISON, what I think about that. I'm going to touch on that here. Comet ISON, I believe, is affecting our magnetic field, and I believe that it's also affecting the sun. The sun is reacting, and when the sun reacts, we have earthquakes. And I want to go over some of those things. Looks like we just had a 5.4 just off the coast of Papua New Guinea. Let's take a look at that here. Yeah, near the north coast of New Guinea, we just had a 5.4. Now, personally, I live right here in a major earthquake zone, and so this concerns me. And I know that there are millions of people that live here in the west coast of the United States of America. I live right on the San Andreas Fault, and everybody's been waiting for the big one for a long time. The last time we had a big earthquake was in 1989. At the Loma Prieta earthquake. I was here. I was working in a bike shop when I was younger, and man, the bikes just went knocking into each other. And I mean, they were just kind of hanging on hooks, you know, those big hooks that you put in your garage and you hang the tire on it. So the whole bike, all these bikes were lined up on a beam, and they were just like knocking into each other. We went running out the back door. The earth just went like, it was crazy. It was crazy. Thousands of people were killed when the Bay Bridge fell. And it's been relatively quiet since then. So everybody has been waiting for something to happen in San Francisco. And I want to touch on that. And I want to just sort of throw out my, thinking on this and related to ISON. I also want to establish that USGS is going to be little to no help at this time. This is a terrible time for the government to be playing games with us and to shut down the government when we need this information. As you can see, there's nothing here on USGS for our information. And this is the fault line that I live on, which is due for a massive, massive earthquake. Also, NASA's Eclipse website, not available. And I think this is HelioViewer. I was trying to take a look at the sun on NASA, and you know, not available. Speaking of the sun, Suspicious Observers, which is probably one of the best YouTubers to put out information on the sun, shows us that in September 29th was a massive eruption off the sun. You could see this here. I'll put links below. He deserves credit for this. This is where I was trying to go, HelioViewer, but it's offline. Did you see that? Massive. So I'm using his footage here, which he got from HelioViewer. So this, although apparently it's not immediately Earth facing, it's still going to affect us. It's going to affect our magnetic field, and therefore possibly this is the kind of thing that we look for and connect to earthquakes, or trying to predict earthquakes. So thank you again, Suspicious Observers, for this. Now let's go to ISON. On the JPL, which is still up, this is a NASA site, luckily this is still up. Apparently, Comet ISON, this is the third here. Go back a day. This is the day that I'm recording. It looks like ISON is about to cross Mars. Other viewers say that it just did pass Mars. Regardless, it's coming close, and it's coming into our solar system now. And you can see its trajectory here. And it will go around. It will come around in November 28th. Is when it's going to be in between us and the sun, and its tail will pretty much be right in our face. Okay, the beginning of October here, we've got Comet ISON and its close approach to Mars. This is, in this area right here, ISON is visible in telescopes. Once you get into this green part here, it will be visible to the naked eye. So if we bring this forward, we have a close approach also right here to Mercury, which may affect gravitational pulls in the solar system, and it may affect us as well at this point, which is going to be mid-November. And at this point, it would also be viewable in the sky from this point, but it would be during the daytime. you don't you have to sort of block your view of the sun, but you might be able to see this as the sun's coming up, coming into November here. It swings around on November 28th, and its tail, it's hard to stop it right there, but its tail will basically blast the Earth at this point on November 28th, which just happens to be Hanukkah. Interesting. And then it'll be easily seen in the sky in early December, because daytime will be this direction and nighttime will be this direction. So it should light up the sky in quite a bit in December. But this is going to affect, and I'll turn this on so you can kind of see it do its thing. This is going to affect us in certain ways. I mean, especially in November, when we go through the tail, it is going to have all kinds of, whatever's coming off of that tail right there, it's going to affect the Earth in probably biblical proportions. So something to watch out for, again, if the church is not here, which is entirely possible. But what I'm looking at is these things are ramping up like crazy. Let me show you this. This is a map on, and again, all these links will be down below with credit. The latest worldwide meteor reports at .blogspot.jp. And this is the latest 50 meteors that have hit. Look what's going on. All these meteors are nailing the East Coast right now. And these are reports that are coming into this website as early or as recent as the 2nd here. And when you click on this link down below in the About section, you can check out all these reports of all these meteors that are hitting us right now. Okay, can you imagine what's going to happen after the 28th, November 28th, when ISON cruises by? I can hardly imagine it, and you know what? I don't really want to be here for that. All right, so I've shown you the close approach of ISON to Mars, and I've shown you the filament eruption. Nikola Tesla's ghost, another YouTuber who does wonderful work of earthquake watches. I want you to listen to this.
Well, let's go look at some of the magnetic information for Earth. This is the ACE mag field tool, which you've seen me use time and time again when I'm predicting earthquakes. And if you go back and you look at this obvious change in state to our mag field, well, go back and look at the earthquake activity that happened right here. Now let's move forward to the 29th and the 30th. And what you see, again, is another change in state. We have a diversion going on. Diversion of the mag field lines. They're spreading apart, coinciding exactly, again, right here, late into the day on the 29th and the 30th is when the filament eruption popped off. But again, right here in the same period, right here is when ISON is making its closest approach to Mars. So we have another situation where yesterday we had a drastic divergence in the field lines, and now we've also got, along with it, another drastic change in state to our mag field happening. And as we just looked at over here on this Enlil tool, we're seeing that we've got energy from that CME blast from the filament eruptions that's going to be hitting us tomorrow afternoon. So at this point, again, based on what happens every single time nearly that we see a drastic divergence to the mag field state of Earth, hours to days later, we get significant earthquakes, usually 7.0 or greater. So I'm going to put the heads up for that right now. The mag field disturbance is already clearly indicating to me that we're in the middle of a change in state to Earth's magnetic field that, as the data clearly shows us, just go back and look at my videos or go back and look at other earthquakes. Watch what happens to the magnetic field state prior to earthquakes. We always get this drastic change in state. So we're in the middle of one now, and we have extra energy heading our way from filament eruption off the sun. So basically tomorrow, the 2nd and the 3rd, we should have major uptick in earthquake activity.
He's saying that October 2nd and 3rd, we should have a major uptick in earthquake activity. So thankfully, we have some maps here which are not shut down. This is quakes at globalincidentmap.com. This is earthquake data imported from various governments, not just the United States government, which right now is worthless. So I'm not sure where these earthquakes are going to hit, if at all. However, the sun does have a track record. It's well established that the sun and when the sun has filament eruptions, and when they get here, it affects the crust of the earth, and we have earthquakes. And if it happens at deep sea, then we have tsunamis. If it happens on the land, then we have cities that fall down. Now, why is this important and right now? Well, here's the thing. We've got brothers and sisters, good Christian people, who are saying that the Father is giving them warnings, giving them dreams and visions. Now, real quick, let me get off of this. I want to make this known. Many of you know that this is not a subject that I tackle often because I don't have dreams and I don't have visions. I don't have that kind of relationship with the Father. He doesn't do that to me. So you know what? I don't really understand it. So let's just make that real clear. I don't touch upon these things very often because it doesn't seem... Also, over the years that I've been on YouTube, I have seen a lot of people make predictions and say that the Lord is talking to them. And for the most part, I think people are deceived. Or they have delusions of grandeur. And I've debunked people who are date setting and doing certain things that the Lord says that, or they say that the Lord told them this and that and the other thing. And nothing ever happens. They set dates and the dates go by. Okay. So for me, my personal experience is that a lot of people who do this on YouTube, because I don't really pay attention to this outside of YouTube. I don't go to websites and follow prophets and stuff. My personal experience is that the majority of it is bunk. So I don't go there. Give me the facts. That's what I want. I want to look at things with the facts. However, I also believe that I have a decent amount of discernment skills. And when I can kind of read somebody and just tell when they're deceived, when they're confused, when they are telling a lie, or when they are being completely honest. And they show themselves to really have nothing to gain for it, except they just feel like they have something to say. Now, with that said, let me introduce you to Adam H. This, I believe, is his first video on YouTube, and I'm not here to debunk Adam. There's another sister named Cindy, also, who I'm going to show you and introduce you to. I'm not here to debunk them. I'm not here to belittle them at all. I've watched their videos and I think that they're being honest. I do. Do I know if the information is accurate? I don't. But I believe that they believe in what they're saying. And I believe I can tell from their demeanor that they are telling the truth and they're not trying to pull a fast one here. Now, Adam is not talking about his own vision. He's talking about his mother. And he is saying, and again, the links will be below, and you can watch these videos yourself. Adam is saying that his mother has been given visions before. She apparently saw, just days before the Japanese tsunami earthquake, she saw that. So another thing when you're watching people is you want to see if they have a track record or not. Now, is that verifiable? Not to me. It's not. However, he says personally, and if I'm going to believe him, then I got to believe that. His mom has a track record of seeing things, and she's got a lot of anxiety right now, and she's very worried about. Well, take a listen.
She's been basically having dreams and visions about a large earthquake off the west coast of the U.S. Now, she's had something like this happen to her once before, It was right before the Japan quake and the tsunami, and she basically predicted it. It was pretty intense. It was about 2 days before the event. This one, though, she says she's seeing numbers, she's seeing dates and times, and I don't want to give any specifics, but I'll just say it's sometime early October, and it's supposed to be in the daytime, sometime in the morning. So, believers, all people, be ready. If you haven't repented, or you need to reconnect with God, or
Okay, so he actually has a good heart for the Father, and he goes into a call to repentance, which is wonderful. Shows you a little bit about his character. A little bit farther on in the video.
anyway, so yeah, warning, 9.7 is what we're hearing. Earthquake, West Coast, early October. So yes, be ready. Thank you. Be blessed, brothers and sisters. We love you.
All right, somewhere in the middle of the video, he says that it's on a Thursday as well. Now, early October on a Thursday might be October 3rd. It's coming. It's actually tomorrow from the time of this recording. And he's saying right here that his mom is seeing numbers, 9.7. That is a massive, massive, massive earthquake to hit the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm talking San Francisco, you're done. And the area that I'm in is probably done too. Toast. And literally, if this comes to pass and I stay here, I could lose my life, if this is true. So, if I'm going to take this seriously, if I'm going to weigh these things, I need to do some thinking and praying. Now, also, we've got Sister Cindy here, who also seems totally genuine to me. And she goes on to say pretty much the same thing, that in I think May 2012, she was told by the Father in a vision that the number 17 months from there, that she needs to be prepared. Now, 17 months from the time of that vision, May 2012, is right now. And she was told, her audio is actually very low, so I can't do what I just did with Adam. You're not going to be able to hear it. You'll have to watch this yourself. She's not giving dates, but she's saying that the Father told her that to be prepared by October, and possibly October 2nd. Prepared, meaning you prepared because then something's going to happen. Well, it's just, and she says that a great California earthquake is coming. Be prepared by October 2013. Now, I just showed you what's going on with data. ISON is possibly affecting the sun. Regardless if it is or not, the sun just had a massive explosion. And there are people on YouTube who do some wonderful earthquake watches, and sometimes they predict correctly. And some are saying that this massive explosion that we just had here is going to affect us in early October. So what are the odds of that? I don't know what the odds of that are. But I wanted to make this video just to tell you that there are some people who are doing sort of like prediction videos. And normally I don't touch that. They're doing dreams and visions about earthquake predictions. But the thing is that it's actually lining up with possibilities from science. So, I'm not telling you to run out the door with your pets and your kids, but I am telling you to pray about this. If I'm a watchman on the wall, I should tell you what I see. And I see what I've just shown you. Some of you might be thinking, oh, so what? A San Francisco earthquake. It's about time. It doesn't affect me. It's not in my state. It's not in my country. Well, I'll show you how it's going to affect you. Are you addicted to, say, Facebook? because Facebook is in this area. Facebook is right here. Matter of fact, Facebook is right up the street from where I live. I could walk there. On top of that, I don't know, do you use any Yahoo products? Software? Because Yahoo is right here. They've got numerous campuses right in this area. Do you use any YouTube or Google products? Because Google's right here, right up the street from me. I'll show you YouTube. YouTube's a little farther, but it's just right up the Bay Area. Right there. Are you a YouTuber? You have a YouTube account? Do you have videos online? Because that's where all the servers are. That's where your videos are right there. And if this is demolished or flooded by a tsunami, like what happened, remember, the Japanese quake that happened in 2011, that was a 9 on the Richter scale. A megaquake could be higher than that. And a matter of fact, it's been, some people are saying that it could be a 9.7 coming. That would bring a tsunami into the Bay Area, flooding all of this, destroying everything, on top of an earthquake that would just demolish everything. Do you use a Windows operating system? Do you need updates? Microsoft, how would that fare if that was totally demolished? Do you use Apple products, Apple Computer, with their operating system? Do you need updates? Because Apple's right here. So my point is, how about this? Do you use PayPal for any reason? Do you have a PayPal account? You got money in it? What happens if that's all gone? PayPal's right there. Do you use eBay for anything? Are you an eBay salesperson? eBay is right here. So this is the San Francisco Bay Area. This is Silicon Valley. This is where it all happened. And if a tsunami comes in here, just like, remember what happened to tsunami after just offshore in Japan? A tsunami happened underwater, and then a tsunami came in and killed tens of thousands of people, demolished North Japan. If a tsunami comes in here after a massive earthquake, which would probably level San Francisco and a lot of stuff in this Bay Area here, right on the fault line is where this whole area is, then all of this low-lying area has a possibility of being flooded, depending on how big the whole thing is. I'm just taking it, to the extreme. But it's very possible that this could affect you. The other thing that's very interesting about this, if you've watched my other videos, I've shown that that I talk about Bible prophecy, and I talk about the Lord's feast days and how they are being fulfilled. The Feast of Trumpets is most likely when the rapture will happen. However, it's possible that the September celebration of those fall appointed times might have been off. Don't know. It's a theory. It's speculative. If we push it forward a month, then that time frame would be somewhere in here. Again, early October, things are happening. Somewhere in here, we could see earthquake activity here. Now, I have no idea. I have no idea what the future holds as far as dates. I just don't. But in watching the signs, that's what we do. We think about it. We think about it, we voice our opinion, and in peer review, we talk. And so I just wanted to put this on the table for your information. It is possible that that biblical event of the rapture of the church could happen sometime within this time period, based on so much that you've seen in my other videos. And also, ISON is coming. ISON is coming. People have asked me, what do I think ISON is? Besides, going to possibly create havoc on the earth, earthquakes and whatnot. What does it really mean? Well, wonderful theologians and scholars have talked about this And what they say is that Hale-Bopp, Halley's Comet, when these things have been seen in the past, they tend to be harbingers for major upheaval or wars, change of governments, that kind of thing, changes in planetary operation. And it's always 4 years in advance. 4 years in advance. Hale-Bopp and Halley's Comet have those track records.
There is a comet that's known as Halley's Comet. Listen to me very carefully. This comet came through in 66 AD, 4 years prior to the destruction of the temple. This comet was spotted in 12 BC when Herod was expanding the temple platform in Jerusalem. It appeared in 66 AD, listen, 4 years before Jerusalem was destroyed. It appeared in 1910, 4 years before World War I. It appeared in 1988, 4 years before the Gulf War broke out. This comet seems to appear in history 4 years prior to something happening on Earth. It's either the overthrow of an empire, a nation, or a king, or a terrible calamity. Do your own research on that. It's extremely interesting. Hale-Bopp comet was 50,000 times brighter than Halley's Comet. We have a picture of it. Now, this was the Hale-Bopp comet. Listen carefully. First seen on April the 27th, 1993, which is on the Hebrew calendar, was the very day that the British mandate ended over the city of Jerusalem. On July 23rd, 1995, it was spotted in a constellation called Sagittarius, which is a half beast and a half man, which is an imagery of the coming Antichrist. It was last seen, I love this, this comet, this is an actual photograph, this comet was last seen, are you ready for this, 4,200 years ago. A gentleman by the name of Wadsworth, who was a Christian astronomer, calculated, I love this, that the last time this comet was seen streaking through the universe was when a man named Noah was building the ark preparing for the flood. The Seder Olam Rabbah, a Jewish writing, according to Bill Cloud, comments that tradition says that Noah saw a comet in the heavens while he's building the ark, which was assigned to him, that the world was going to be destroyed by some kind of cataclysmic judgment. It is also interesting to note that prior to the destruction of the temple in the year 70 AD, this Jewish historian Josephus, who lived back then, started talking about these weird cosmic signs in the heavens. He said, a comet was seen over the city for 1 year. We now know that was the Hale-Bopp comet. But he also said this, and let's show this next picture. He said, a star shaped like a sword appeared in the heavens. This that I'm showing you right now was taken in Italy 4 years before 9/11. Everybody say 4 years. That is a meteorite shower taking place in the paw of Leo the lion. Leo the lion. Now we call it Leo, they call it Leo the lion, but the emblem of Judah is the lion. And coming out of this paw was this meteorite shower that looked like a sword. It's shaped like a sword in the heavens. You can see, and there are some pictures that when you take it up closer, you can even see how it comes to a point. I believe that in the destruction of the temple, that is what they saw hanging over the city for a period of time prior to the destruction, and read it as a cosmic sign of war coming. Hey, 4 years before we go to war on 9/11, that appeared in the Middle East.
Now, November is when the closest approach will be of ISON. It just so happens that if we count 4 years, it ends up right at the mid-tribulation time that I've shown in my timeline. You've seen this chart that I've made in numerous videos, and it is speculative. It's just me putting some things out there visually so that I can see them. Okay? But here's the thing. Hopefully you already know about the blood moon tetrad, which is coming beginning in April. You already know about the Revelation 12 sign, which looks to be in September 23 of 2017, which is a mid-tribulation time period in Revelation. That happens right here at this red arrow. Doesn't mean this is when it actually happens in the sky. I took this from Stellarium astronomy software on this very day. Okay, so it's right there. That doesn't mean that the event's going to happen on the day. It means that the sign is there. Signs sometimes precede events, right? So, all this somewhere in here could be mid-tribulation time period. If you count backwards 3.5 years, remember the tribulation is 7 years. Half of it, half and half, would be 3.5 and 3.5. If you count back 3.5 years, it just so happens that it's right at the beginning of this tetrad. Coincidence? You be the judge. But here's the deal. November, ISON, right here. 4 years. History has shown that comets like this, and this could be the brightest comet ever, comets like this are harbingers of major wars, catastrophes, and it's always 4 years in advance. They're warnings, they're harbingers. Now look, if we see this right here in November, we count 4 years. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right at this mid-trib point again. Well, what happens mid-trib? Revelation 12, the whole chapter, is middle of the tribulation events. Now, the first thing that I showed you is there's a great sign appears in heaven. There's another sign that appears in heaven. And then what happens in Revelation 12:7, war broke out in heaven. This is probably one of the most massive wars, because it's between Michael and his angels and Satan and the fallen ones. War broke out in heaven. Michael and his angel fought with the dragon and his angels fought, but they did not prevail, nor was a place found for them in heaven any longer, because they still have access to heaven, meaning the space around our planet. Not the high heavens. They were kicked out of there a long time ago. So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. That's a mid-trib event, and it's massive. Satan comes to earth, and he is not... There's no place found for them in heaven any longer, meaning they can't get off the planet, and they are stuck here to do what they're going to do, and they pursue new believers who came to salvation after the rapture. They're called tribulation saints, and of course he's going to be pursuing the woman, right, which is the nation of Israel. The dragon saw that he had been cast to earth, and he pursued the woman who gave birth to the male child. Obviously, our Messiah came through the Jewish bloodline. So this is the event that happens in the middle of the tribulation period. It just so happens. I mean, what are the odds that all these things are lining up like this? 4 years. It's established. 4 years. And it just so happens that it ends up right here, okay, with everything else. Now, I put a fish and a rapture right here. I don't know if that's the case. It's speculative. Could happen somewhere in here. I don't know. But it's close. If you are not saved, now is the time to do it. You don't have any more time. If you have been thinking about giving your life to Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, the Savior, the one who shed his blood for your sins, then you need to do that. There's no more time. No more goofing around. There's no more sitting on the fence. Paul writes in Romans, he says that if you confess with your mouth, confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, and believe in your heart that his Father raised him from the dead. He died. For 3 days he was dead. And he rose back to life, proving that there's a resurrection, proving that death is defeated. If you believe that, you will be saved. I highly recommend that you spend some time and search your heart about what you want to do with him and where you want to be in eternity, because eternity is knocking at the door, my friend. I've got some videos in my best of playlist which hopefully will help you out with that. One is called Why I Need a Savior, and another one is called The Most Ultimate Salvation Walkthrough, and it will help you with all the verses that you need. There's not much time left. Thanks for watching this video. I would appreciate it if you would share it with your networks. That doesn't mean download it off the internet and put it on your channel. That means share it with your networks. I would appreciate it. If you can, please like this video. Take a moment to click the like button. It will help this video get farther. And subscribe. If there is any more time, I'll continue to do this. And that's all I got. Shalom.